Welcome. Today we're going to be discussing dominating circles, its execution, some things you should know about its execution, some problems that can arise, and how to fix or compensate for those issues. So let's talk through the ideal phase of this technique. This technique is very controversial because it can be varied in a bunch of different ways, and therefore confusions arise as to the beginning of the technique, how to do the technique, stuff like that. So let's walk through originally the ideal phase. So it's often offset shoulder grab. So what we want to make sure is it's an offset because we want to get to a specific position. That position would be a non-ready position in this case, but keep in mind that we don't have to do that. What we can do is we can also be in any position where we're right to right, where we can continue this technique. So even though the initial part of the technique may not be exactly what you want to do ideally, just like we can add things to techniques, we have short, middle, and long versions, you can also make long versions, shorter versions by taking things out of the technique. So in this case, you don't have to do the first part of the technique. It can easily be omitted if you find yourself through position recognition where you need to be in order to continue the technique. So let's go from there. So what we're going to be discussing is the long version of this technique, and this is where the person is grabbing and they're offset. So what we don't want to try and do is just move in without this check, because they can stop us or they can go with us and either hit us with the hand or with the elbow. So what we want to do is keep this under control. So what happens with the left hand is we want to make sure that elbow is to a position to where we're pushing it and bending it. Okay, so we're coming in and down this way to get the position to where it's, if you notice, the right beat starts to become closer to us. So what we want to do is turn them towards us as we do with a hit in here. And these are just inserts to help the rest of the technique along. So we get to the hit and then we come around and we do a buckle and a buckle with the arm here. So you're doing two circles and then lines coming in to do this buckle. So the circle comes around and then comes down at a diagonal. So do that one more time so you can see it. It comes down. So what we've done now is create an angle of disturbance. They're now off balance. So what we're going to do is take advantage of that, and then we're going to do the next maneuver. The next maneuver is where things start to getting a little complicated, because this is where things can go awry. What's going to happen here is you are going to totally destabilize this person, and they're going to begin to fall. What we're going to do, the idea of this technique, is to take advantage of that fall and control it the way we want it, not just let them go to the ground. If we were to do a shorter version of this technique, all we have to do is let them go to the ground. So we get to here, we take them to the floor, and we just leave, right? They fall, they go to the ground, or get destabilized and move back, and we can just end the technique there. But this technique continues on and then shows you how to control that fall as they begin to go. So we get to this piece again, we get them to this part here. You notice I'm checked, still maintaining that check, I'm getting a hit. So what's going to happen here is as they begin to fall, we need to move around them. We don't want to try and stay where we are and just let them fall. What we want to do is control that fall, so we're going to have to move. This technique moves quite a bit. So once we get to this piece, if you think about the timing, what's going to happen here is they begin to come with their hands up. I want to switch my hands to where I can get my left hand into their face. I'm going to be hitting the side of the jaw, because then I want to be able to wrap my fingers around. But at the same time, I'm going to remove my foot. Then the right hand here is now starting to stop them from covering their face, which I normally would want to do, and then wrapping it around them. So we're going to get them in an arm bar. So there's a lot of things going on at the exact same time here. So we're going to go timing, hit, 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 begin to rotate. Now what I want to do is I want to bring my hands together as I begin to step out. Now at this point, I can just leave. There's another point in this technique where I can leave, but we're not going to do that. What we're going to do is continue to take this person down. Notice I've rotated them around. The way I did that is I took my fingers, I pushed it on their face, and then rotated their head. Where their head goes, their body will go. So you notice the rotation of the head also got to a point where it couldn't rotate anymore, and therefore the body started to go with it. So that's what we want to take advantage of. And then as we still continue to fall, we want to go with it. I'm not going to crank this person's arm, but we're basically cranking the arm to break it. We then notice where they fall. My knee is now ready to go. At this point, I can also leave if I wanted to, but we're going to continue this technique. So I'm going to rotate and drop my knee right in the back of their neck, giving them a variation of the concrete facial. Then I'm going to hop and do a side kick using the flex kick, using gravitational marriage to do a side kick on the side of their head. We can do a variety of different things, roundhouse, side kicks, front kicks. In this case, what we're going to be doing is that stomping side kick as we hop and smash their head and then cross up and cover. Okay? Up. One more time. A little bit less explanation so that you can kind of see and review it. So we're going to check, step, hit. Come over with the circles, come down with the straight lines. Then what we're going to do is take them as we continue to maintain that check, turn the head, come down with the hand, and at the same time with the foot. Turn with the fingers, rotate them, step out, step back as we begin to pull them, drop down in that knee, giving them that concrete facial, hop and side kick onto the head, cross out and cover. Okay. Up. One more time, without any explanation so that you can see it. Up. Hope this video helps you. Thank you very much.